Dr. Loharan here, and I am super excited about today's video because I've been wanting to make a video on the #1 supplement that I think everybody should start taking today. And just last week, there was an article posted on neurosciencenews.com that gave me the perfect segue. A low omega-3 index is just as strong a predictor of early death as smoking. But before we dive deeper into this study, we should talk about what omega-3s are. Omega-3s are fatty acids, and there are 3 types: ALA, DHA, and EPA. And the names are super long, so we are just going to call them by their abbreviations. And specifically, we're going to be talking about DHA and EPA. These two are considered essential nutrients, not essential fatty acids, because they can actually be made from ALA. However, the yield or the amount that your body can actually make is not very high, so it's still highly recommended that you supplement with EPA and DHA. EPA and DHA are really important structures within the cell membrane. So if you remember all the way back to cell bio, the cell membrane is the outside of the cell, and it's really important in keeping the contents that are inside the cell inside, and it also plays a really important part in cell-to-cell signaling. There's also a really high concentration of DHA found in your retina. It plays a really important role in the actual visual pathway, so the process of us seeing something or seeing the light that's reflected off that object, and then the whole process of us interpreting what we're seeing in our brain. EPA and DHA also have many benefits for the central nervous system. It's especially important for brain development in children, and it's also been shown to improve cognitive function, memory, and the ability for the brain to form new connections with other neurons in adults as well. Okay, so now that you have a basic understanding of what omega-3s are, let's jump back to this article. 2,500 participants ages 60 through 73 were followed for 11 years. And during this time, they had their blood samples taken, and one of their measurements that they were taking was their omega-3 index. So this is the amount of DHA and EPA that are found inside the cell membranes of their red blood cells. And what they found were individuals with the highest omega-3 index were 33% less likely to succumb than those with a lower omega-3 index. The average American has an omega-3 index of about 5%. This is on the lower end. Here is the table. The optimal omega-3 index is greater than 8%. And an intermediate range is 4 to 8%, and then you are on the low end if you are less than 4%. And so this is important because if the average American has an omega-3 index of about 5%, we are at a higher risk of mortality than countries such as Japan, where the average person has an omega-3 index of greater than 8%. In fact, the average lifespan of a person in Japan is 5 years longer than the average American. So maybe there is something to this omega-3 index in predicting the lifespan of a person. So how can we improve our omega-3 index? We can increase the amount of fatty fishes that we are eating. So that would be salmon, anchovies, and herring. You can also be eating tuna, but the larger the fish, then you start risking mercury if you're having fish multiple times a week. So it's better to stick with the smaller fish. And if you can't have fish multiple times a week, you can supplement with an omega-3. And a good high quality supplement is generally made from a blend of different kinds of wild caught fish as well. You want to look for a supplement that has at least a 2-to-1 ratio of EPA to DHA if you're an adult. For the youngsters, you want something that has a higher concentration of DHA because there has been many studies showing the benefits of neurodevelopment and having enough DHA to supply that. The recommended daily intake of omega-3s is anywhere between 2 to 3 grams of it per day. So that might be a lot, especially if you haven't taken omega-3s before. You want to work your way up to that 3 grams because if you take too much, it could upset your stomach and then you don't want that to happen either. So I would slowly work my way up to that 3 grams. Well, that's all I've got for you today on the #1 supplement that I think everyone should start taking today. And I know we went over a lot of information, so I'm going to show you this summary slide that talks about what we went over. So we went over what omega-3s are. We also went over the functional importance of omega-3s in the cell membranes, as well as in the vision process, and also the importance of omega-3s in the central nervous system. We also reviewed an article published in neurosciencenews.com that discussed a low omega-3 index is just as strong a predictor of early death as smoking. And finally, we went over dietary sources of omega-3s as well as the recommended daily intake of omega-3s. Whoa, I know, that was a lot of information, which is why I included that summary slide for you to refer back to. Let me know what you guys think about the format of this video. I thought I'd try something new and share some latest research with you. So let me know what you thought in the comments below, okay? Because I think I'm gonna continue to do things like this in the future. And as always, if you know somebody who could benefit from either taking omega-3s or learning about what omega-3s are, please share this video with them because I think this is something that most people need to learn about. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time on Wake Up!